November 1977, David Berkowitz's journal from Kings County. I call this one Sam Carr, Who Is But Isn't. My apartment is what I called it, even though I always felt that I didn't own it. I paid the rent, but I hated that apartment so much because of the demons that dwelled in it. I was even thinking of setting fire to it. I paid the rent, I signed the lease, I moved in it, seeking quiet and rest, only to find noise and terror. No, this isn't my apartment. It was reserved for me in the hopes of trapping me, leaving me near broke and unable to escape from the final foe, Sam Carr, who is but isn't. Sam who is dead but alive and who torments the earth. This whole thing with my apartment was a setup. It was no doubt planned long ago. I wish I could explain, but I can't, why I am so obsessed with David Berkowitz's journals and letters. Thank you for joining me today. There's really no rhyme or reason. I'm just going to be jumping around on the timeline, but I do appreciate you being here with me. So I've been going through Maury Terry's files with a fine-tooth comb. Oh my goodness, what a mess. But it has been a very interesting experience for me. Here are some teaser slides from Maury's section in the Son of Sam timeline. Please rest assured, I am looking into everybody. An interesting passage to ponder from The Ultimate Evil Inside the Biggest Case excerpt. An example of a valuable lead given both to me and to Santucci was one which originated with two members of a sheet metal workers union to which Berkowitz belonged in late 1976 and early 1977 before he joined the Postal Service. These sources said that Berkowitz showed a .38 caliber revolver to several co-workers while in an apprentice class in Westchester. At the time, they reported that Berkowitz was very friendly with a young man named Phil Kahn, pseudonym, and that Berkowitz and Kahn left the job one day in January 77 telling co-workers they were driving to an animal shelter to adopt a German Shepherd. No .38 revolver was found in Berkowitz's apartment, but the informants insisted he possessed it at the time. Make of that what you will, but according to Maury, Berkowitz allegedly had a .38 revolver at or around the time of January 1977. If true, and I'm not saying that it is or isn't, could Berkowitz have possessed other firearms that were not confiscated at the time of his arrest? John Paul Ranieri. Personally, I have problems with his credibility, but that's a story for another day, info for another video. In the interim, I'd like to share this passage with you from Maury Terry's file, found on the John Paul Ranieri transcript. Well, first of all, they tried to shut you up because they were intimidating. As a matter of fact, since you and I have known each other, okay, you might remember once that I had gotten beaten up at the school, okay, and that was specifically to keep my mouth shut about what happened at the cemetery that night. That passage there sounds to me like Maury and John Paul knew each other from high school. What do you think? A July 30th date has been announced for the new Netflix Conversations with a Killer, the Son of Sam tapes. Based on the previews, sounds to me that they're going to be featuring more of Jack Jones's interviews with David Berkowitz from Attica. Hoping for some unheard footage and really looking forward to the interview with Vinny Minatola. And of course, it's been hinted that Mrs. Wendy Savino will be featured as well. I have not spoken publicly about the Savino case. I have a very unpopular opinion, one that has not been discussed to this point that I'm aware of. Yes, that's me, waiting for my FOIA requests on said case. Until I have reports in hand that I can read, that I can assess, I really don't have an opinion that I am willing to come out publicly with. I guess we wait and see what the documentary has to bring to the table. On a side note, I know that there are people interested in this case that would like to discuss it in a civil way, but don't ask questions and don't speak up because they don't want to get caught in the crossfire. When I first started my channel, I sponsored Zoom calls where we had just a handful of people. We didn't talk about people, we talked about the case, and the discussions were very beneficial. Now that my time is easing up a little bit, I'd like to go back to that format. So if you're interested in talking about the case like a grown-up and maybe participating in a Zoom discussion or a panel discussion, feel free to reach out to the channel. Moving on to the stabbing of Michelle Foreman. At one time in Son of Sam history, this stabbing was in question. Since then, sufficient evidence has been brought to the table that shows that the crime actually occurred. Berkowitz also admits to this crime. Daily News, November 4th, 1977, excerpt, a Co-op City stabbing. In another part of the transcript, Berkowitz told of stabbing a girl while walking through Co-op City in the Bronx late in 1975 before the Son of Sam killings began. Berkowitz, recalling an urge to kill, said he approached the girl, stabbed her in the back, became frightened, and ran home. A week after the incident, Berkowitz related he read in the newspaper about the incident that the girl had lived. As for the unidentified Hispanic woman coming out of the store, to date, there is still no evidence other than the story told in Klausner's book. Berkowitz flat out denies this to Dr. Abramson. David Berkowitz. I never committed the crime against the older woman on Christmas Eve. I don't know where he got it from, referencing Klausner. But if I said something like this, then it was malingering on my part. Yes, for him to say this, then I must have been bragging. 10-second break for a giggle, and this picture always does it for me. Look at Keenan's face, look at Dowd's face, and then look at Berkowitz's face. Michael Carr, never mentioned in the public SOS letters, never mentioned in the apartment journals of Berkowitz. When, why, and how was he inserted into this case? Through my timeline research, I think I've figured it out. I'll be presenting that soon in a long-form video, so let's just consider this a little teaser. As stated earlier, I've been knee-deep in the Maury Terry files. I felt it only fair that I gave it the same diligent research and consideration as I did police reports and other official documentation with regards to this case. I will continue this journey, and I hope to be out soon with my new podcast featuring the Son of Sam timeline. I guess I'll see a lot of you on the other side of the documentary. Sounds like we're going to have lots of discussion after that hits. Thank you for spending time with me, Cracklin' Rosie. Peace.